All right, Tuesday the 24th. Let's make sure I hit start. Okay, I did. Lower body, sumo pulse, pause squat, straight leg fire hydrant, donkey circle. Sumo pulse, pause squat, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can add weight. Straight leg hydrant, so same thing as our fire hydrant, but straighten that leg out, up, 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 up. Donkey circle, again, normal donkey kick looks like this. Your circle, you're gonna straighten that leg out, come off to the side, up and over, 1, up and over, 2, okay? And then we end with single leg tucks I put on your back because sometimes we do those standing. Straight out, in, okay? So, sumo pulse. So you're gonna get in your sumo squat stance, which is wide leg, feet pointed outward. You're gonna sink down into your sumo squat, and you're gonna bounce, pulse, 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 bounce, bounce, bounce. So notice I never fully stand up. I stay down, bounce, bounce, bounce. Try to keep your back up. Some people like to put their hands out. People like to do this, people like to do this. Whatever is comfortable for you, that's what you do. Pause squat. So this I usually do hold a weight like I do I basically do a pause goblet. So all the pauses is counting to 3. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, up. If you have to use your chair and you have to do a full sit, there's not going to be a pause because once you sit, you're taking the weight off of your legs, so it doesn't matter how long you're paused for because you're not holding any weight. Straight leg hydrant. So this one is tough. I find that I get very uncomfortable when I'm doing these because it's just an awkward position. So you're knelt down. Instead of, like I said, lifting off to the side with the bent leg, you're gonna straighten your leg and you're gonna kick it up. So again, almost like when we did those seated alternating leg raises, it's not gonna probably go much. And it does start to feel awkward and it'll start to be painful on the outside. Sometimes I find myself almost like doing like an awkward lean because it just feels awkward. I don't know how to explain it. So as long as you're not like twisting your back too much or doing anything too weird, it's okay. Like if you need to drop down onto the elbow, or maybe you might find it more comfortable both on the elbows. It's awkward either way. So you're just basically kicking your leg straight. And then we have our donkey circle. So like I was saying, our normal donkey kick looks something like this. With this one, you're gonna straighten your leg out. You're gonna start off to the side, so like diagonal back, and you're gonna come up, around to the other side, up and back is 1, 2, 3. So with this one, again, if you have that tilted pelvis and you tend to arch, overarch, this one is one that might aggravate it because when you do that kick up and over, I definitely feel my back arching like more than I want it to. So I tend to really focus on almost arching up, like the opposite. So when I do mine, like when I come up, I feel like I'm really arched, and then I feel like I'm really arched again. So I focus on almost like rounding my back to try to like prevent it, and it probably isn't even staying rounded, it's probably evening out. So if you find that you can feel it, because it'll pull. I mean, it'll probably pull either way because again, it's not that natural of movement, but if you know you have that problem and you can feel it like really arching and sagging down, try to think the opposite and think like push up on your abs, or I should say suck in your abs. If you're here, it's gonna feel like I said going up this way, so suck in those abs, feel almost like you're pushing your abs out through your back, and it might actually round it for a minute, but when you do that kick, it might go from rounded to even instead of even to saggy, okay, if that makes any sense. And then when you're done with that, you're going to do single leg tuck. So this is an ab exercise. So you're gonna be on your back. You can either have your head and shoulders on the ground or off the ground, but your legs are gonna be out in front of you, and they're not gonna be touching the ground. And you're gonna tuck one while this is still off the ground, return, tuck the opposite, 2, tuck, 3, tuck, 4. Actually, I don't even know if you can do that with your, I actually like can't really hold that for that long with my shoulders and my head on the ground. So I guess you kind of have to be lifted, or at least I do, I don't know, I'm weird. So this is fun, it's very tiring. If you cannot do that, you might want to try like bent leg, lift, 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 okay? So that could be your alternate if you find that the straight leg is too difficult.